Morning, everybody. Day 5. Starting off. It's weird. I'm starting off in the old shop, and it's kind of eerie. It's kind of weird to just have empty space that you've been in. So I've been in this space since 2012. Little history. I ended up being in a garage up until 2010. Actually, garage, and then I rented like a little corner of an industrial space, actually across the street, and then moved to my own little shop. We call it incubator unit. It's like, I think it was about like 600 or 700 square feet, like tiny. Maybe it was, yeah, it was 600 square feet. Yeah, and it was like a couple blocks away, and then was there through 2012, and then I moved here, and this unit here is 1,800 square feet. So I mean, it's kind of weird to think about like growing the company and going from 600 square feet to 1,800 and literally tripling the size. And I just thought, man, that's a huge bill to pay. Man, that's a huge space to fill. What am I going to do? You know, and part of that was me building these walls, and like these walls here. I mean, I literally built. Well, my dad and I kind of knocked it out and just got like, you know, the metal studs from Lowe's and wired it up. Actually, I wired for Ethernet because, again, I don't do electrical, but got it wired up, and, you know, little holes so that we could do little things like that's a HDMI thing that was run up to the back of the TV. So everything was nice and seamless, stuff like that. But yeah, it's definitely kind of weird, like walking around. It's all echoey, and my guy John is framing in the hole in the wall, and yeah, I remember when I knocked that hole, because I had Unit E for about a year, and then I had a neighbor going out of business next door in Unit F. And you know, when these industrial units, when they open up, you just got to jump on it, or else you might have a neighbor for 10 years that's not going anywhere. Literally, the guy next door had been there 24 years. So I'm thinking, man, I can't. Now I've been here, I've already tripled my space. This unit next door is opening up. I just got to do it, you know. So for about 6 months, it was a very expensive parking space. That's about how I can sum it up. But then we got, I hired John, my first employee, at the end of 2014, and then I bought a lathe because he was primarily a lathe guy. And that's when I bought the first Doosan, and we put that next door, and we were able to expand stuff out and just get more comfortable. I mean, small is good when it comes to efficiency, but there's just a point where you run out of space, and you just gotta put stuff in its own designated space instead of moving it around. Or we all have junk piles, you know, and that's okay, but we just need to know that it's designated as junk. So yeah, and so moving next door, and then both neighbors on both sides now are not they're not going anywhere, so that's why we couldn't expand any further. So yeah, it's just not sad or anything, because we're moving forward, we're moving upward, but it's just it's a weird feeling to literally be tearing down something that you've built, you know. You're intentionally tearing stuff down, you know. So but that's what we're doing today, and I'm pretty excited. Let's take a walk around. Yeah, that's gonna look good. Nice work. Thank you. Outside. Yeah, so this is just, I mean, we had the Super Mini Mill 2 here, Doosan LSYC, 220 LSYC. We had the VF4 Super Speed right there. Oh, I got a great story about selling the Super Mini Mill 2. Not so much selling it, but hang on. Not so much selling it, but getting it moved. It was just a crazy thing that happened. So it was entertaining to watch, but some good lessons there. I think I'll probably share that later as like bonus content. So anyway, let's keep moving. So we have this was our what we considered the overstock or I don't use the word overstock intentionally, but we call it a bonus room. So if we're partially through a production run and we want to switch up, we've made enough parts to meet the minimum, then we can just keep running it if we want, and then it's bonus stock. Even if we get, say there's a 2 or 3 op part, if we're only 2 operations through it and we just need to do a third, but we need to open the machine, or we just want to do something different, we can put the in-process stock into bonus. So next time that we need to do a production run, we're already 2/3 into it for a 3 op part. So got an old comparator, never use it because our digital height gauge is better and we just use better techniques. So yeah, I mean, everything is just happening, you know, it's just moving. We will be fully moved out of this unit, both units, today. Might even start some demolition work on those 2 walls, and yeah, getting all moved over and wired up. Yeah, I'll check in with you later today and show you how the second half of day 5 is going. Catch you later, guys. Hey guys, end of day 5 here. It really wasn't that eventful, so I'll throw in the story of the Mini Mill 2, Super Mini Mill 2, and what happened. So the plan was for the riggers to load 7 of our machines and take them here to the new shop, and then the 8th one had been sold, so that machine was going to go on a flatbed that was a long haul truck going to Massachusetts. So the plan was, or actually what I was told was, the truck would be there between 9:30 and 10. And then at that point, the riggers could just load it up and we would just keep going. Well, 9:30, 10, 11, noon rolls around. I call the trucking company, hey, what's the deal? He's just in a little bit of traffic. He'll be there shortly. Great, okay. Maybe like 2, maybe 3 o'clock. I call, hey, this dude isn't here yet. Where is he? Well, finally, I think my guys had moved all the machines and they are sitting, and the only thing left for them to do is to move or to lift the Super Mini Mill 2 onto the long haul truck, which isn't here. So I'm going, what is going on? I call my guy, Ken Dunkel, SoCal Machinery Removers, awesome moving company. They pretty much deliver all the Doossons in Southern California, from what I understand, or at least in my area. And I said, Ken, here's the deal. You know, what do you think? He said, well, we'll give him another hour. If it goes beyond an hour, I'll have to start charging you extra time, you know, because he had quoted the job ahead of time. We're at like 50 minutes and there's still no sign. And so I call Ken. I said, Ken, we got to get a better plan because, yeah, I don't know what to do. I'm calling my buyer, you know, saying, look, I don't know what to tell you. Can you find out where this truck is? So finally, all 3 of us kind of decided that his guys would take the mini mill on their truck, which is now empty, back to their warehouse, and then would divert the long haul trucker to that and pick it up. So they're like, okay, so they start loading it, and they're literally in the process of chaining the mill down when up rolls this. So as you can see, that is not a long haul truck. That is a car carrier. And I asked the driver, like, man, where were you? And he's like, man, we hit a bit of traffic. And I said, well, where did you start out this morning? And he said, San Francisco. Let me show you a map of where San Francisco is compared to Simi Valley right here. And as you can see, I mean, in car, like when I've driven up there, it's at least 6 hours, I think. I haven't driven there in a long time, but I think it's like 6 hours. No way did this guy leave, you know, San Francisco like around when he said he was. They told us he was departing his wherever he was at the beginning of the day at 9. And so someone thought that it was like he'd be there in a half an hour. No way. So anyway, so these 2 guys, like my rigger and this trucker, who I'm not sure I would call a long haul trucker to begin with. Not really the type of thing you would put on the road with expensive equipment. So they start arguing. I mean, they're almost coming to blows because they're just, I mean, the trucker that showed up, he's hired by an agency, you know, or hired through a freight broker. And, you know, so he wants the job. He's already taken it and just had the wrong equipment for that job. So, you know, I told the guy,
we'll call him the long haul guy. The long haul guy said, you know, hey man, look, here's the deal. You're supposed to be here at 9:30. I'm gonna get charged. This is not going on that truck. I called my buyer in Massachusetts and said, look, dude, here's a picture of what showed up. This is the wrong thing. They totally sent the wrong type of vehicle. He had requested air ride. I mean, this guy he had straps, he didn't have chains, no air ride trailer, and no tarps. So going across the country with no tarps, it was crazy. So we made the decision to just send the Super Mini Mill 2 on the flatbed truck that my riggers had back to their warehouse. My machine buyer, he ended up sorting it out, got his money back or transferred or something or reassigned. And so we're just waiting to see, you know, what happens tomorrow, like who shows up. But so far, so good. All machines have been moved, including the Super Mini Mill 2, and is somewhere on the 405 or 5 freeway going to LA waiting to be picked up. So, hey, I don't know how day 6 will go. It's kind of boring stuff. So let me check in with you on day 7. Thanks for watching. Catch you then.